What's up, guys? This is Barrow, aka my mentor, and today is July 6th. It's it's another start of the week because yesterday it was Independent Day, and hopefully you have like enjoyed a long holiday. And yeah, so as for the topic of Independent Day, I mean, we can also have some thought about if like independence is is good or bad. If we're gonna be more independent or we're gonna be more union. So in the past, we always gonna be independent in capitalism, right? Individualism, and but nowadays we have to be more unified and solidify for a lot of things, not only for our own personal life, but also for the life to make some money for your trading investment, right? So, uh, too much independence sometimes makes us a lot of trouble. So, that's why in today's live stream, we're going to talk about some like a potential financial and stock crash brewing to come, and some of the like issue about inflation, and some topics about the hot ongoing topics about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and all that. In the past couple months, we have seen a lot of experts and like financial experts and celebrities like popping out one after another, like sounding the alarm for the next biggest historical financial and stock market crash like coming up really soon. And I also recorded some like short videos in the past May and June about what are the key things to do and what are something to avoid during rising inflation and before the next stock market crash. I'm putting the links again down below this video in the description box. So please check into that. That is definitely helpful and important for you to stay away from being victims or the loser during the upcoming financial massacre, if it's really coming. Okay, so besides all that, last week another celebrity just voiced out too. Rich Dad Poor Dad author um, Robert Kiyosaki just said to back Bitcoin ahead of the biggest crash in history. So we're gonna check into that and have a little bit discussion to see what are some of your thoughts and advice, and if you have any strategy or have your thoughts to, I mean, before the next stock market crash. And before everything, okay, so I still need to reiterate, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an accountant. So this channel, the live stream, the short video is created for entertaining and educational purpose only. So please always do your own research before every trading and investment of your own. Please be responsible for your own investment and trading, and never come to me if you lost any money, but please always remember me if you are making some money, okay? So yeah, let's see if we have. Okay, so yeah, thanks for your likes and subscribe. And if you're watching in front of this video, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and leave some comments of your thoughts for the ongoing video. And after this video, please also leave some of your thoughts so we can review that and make some donation to the charity recommended by you. Okay. Didi, yeah, someone is asking about Didi, but that was the topic last week. And Didi just had a big pullback today because of some of the event, the news. But it's definitely another a good chance to buy the dip because I'm buying right now. And my team is buying, and my team is like connected to a lot of the private equity and the hedge funds in Wall Street and Hong Kong, and they got all the insights. Insights, not insider information. It's insights, so they are buying that. And I already speak out for a lot of like things about DD, so you can check into my last live stream and to decide if you want to support it or not. Okay, market crash. So we're gonna see like what's the like Rich Dad and Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki just talk about in his like short interview with the Yahoo Finance correspondent last Wednesday. Okay, so let's check into that.
Investors. Welcome back to Yahoo Finance Live. We've been hearing a chorus of market warnings growing louder, at least in number, from some big name investors, including Leon Cooperman, Stanley Druckenmiller, Michael Burry of The Big Short fame, of course, as well as famed author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, now added in the mix as well there. I want to read a tweet that had a lot of people talking out recently. He said, quote, "The best time to prepare for a crash is before the crash. The biggest crash in world history is coming." The good news is the best time to get rich is during a crash. Bad news is the next crash will be a long one. Get more gold, silver, and Bitcoin while you can. And then I love to take care at the end. And joining us here for more.
All right, so we can see that Robert Kiyosaki, author. Let me yeah, we can see that Robert Kiyosaki, the author of New York Times bestseller "Rich Dad Poor Dad" and the founder of the Rich Dad company, is sounding an alarm after those celebrities sounding alarm about the impending recession. Recently, tweeting a warning about the impending biggest crash in the world history. He predicted that it would be a long economic downturn and encouraged people to buy and invest in gold, silver, and Bitcoin while they can. So, how do you think? How do you think? I mean, what's your thought? What's your strategy? Please leave your comments down below this video. And that's uh, watching.
On that is the author himself, Robert Kiyosaki, joins us. Robert, good to be chatting with you again, man. I like to take care there because it's optimistic, right? People do get rich off crashes. Some people who timed it after the sell-off, or last year, were able to profit in the recovery here. But talk to me about what you're watching and what has you so concerned about what could spark the biggest crash in world history.
Well, as my friend here, Jim Records, we're the old guys here, and we've experienced enough crashes in our lifetime. But what Jim says is quite accurate. Is the next crash is basically an avalanche, waiting for the last snowflake. And since 2008, all they've been doing is piling more debt onto the mountainside, and they're just waiting for the next snowflake to hit. And it's going to be the biggest in world history. I thought COVID was it, but they just added more debt onto the avalanche site.
Yeah, and continue to print. And we've seen kind of concerns about how we get out of that debt pile. And it sounds like you're leaning in.
Okay, so obviously Robert Kiyosaki, he's saying that the next crash is basically an avalanche waiting for the last snowflake. And since like 2008, all the Fed has been doing is piling more debt onto the mountainside, and they're just waiting for the next snowflake to hit, and that's going to be the biggest in world history. And he thought COVID was it, but they just added more debt onto the avalanche side. In spite of all this, the Fed holds the view that this period of high inflation remains transitionary, citing an accelerated economic recovery from the pandemic as businesses continuing to reopen to full capacity. How do you think? Is that the case? I mean, how do you think? Does Fed ever had a chance to speak out something gloomy or terrible to come very soon? Come on. Like, the answer is so obvious. The answer is so obvious. The Fed can always play a role like a nice boyfriend or probably a cheating playboy, right? Don't they? They can always and only have the sugar-coated or soothing words for every American. We, as retail investors and general public, have always acted like innocent, naive prey or lamb to be fooled around. Think about this. And what you can do, I mean, before it's not too late. Okay? So let's see what the Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki talk about more here.
Into Bitcoin and gold. I mean, we've heard a lot of traditional investors leaning into Bitcoin as a hedge. Kevin O'Leary as well noted he's got, 3% in his portfolio. How large of a portfolio position is it for you, though? And how large should it be for maybe the average investor watching this to protect themselves?
Well, let me give you the macro because everybody goes micro on me. This here is a $10 million Zimbabwe dollar. This is the US dollar. You know, I mean, if you're waiting for the US dollar to become 10 million, that's not that intelligent, but that's what they teach you to do in school is go to school and get a job and work for this garbage. And this here is $2,000 worth of gold in one concentrated form. And this here is a US silver eagle. That's about $25. So I just compared this garbage here to what gold, silver, and Bitcoin is. So in one of my tweets, I said I'm waiting for Bitcoin to hit 24. I entered at 9, and I'm still in the money, and I'm very happy it's coming down so I can buy more. Simple.
Yeah, I guess the question is.
Okay, so obviously Kiyosaki compared Bitcoin, gold, and silver to the US dollar and other fiat currencies, suggesting that he believes Bitcoin and precious metal to be better stories of values to use as hedge against macroeconomic cycle. He noted that he was optimistic about crypto in spite of the recent crash, stating that he views it as an opportunity to buy more. He personally expects Bitcoin to keep pulling back down to $24,000 in the short run in this video. So he's happy. He's very happy that he has been able to buy more along the crypto pullback. Let's keep watching.
Is those people who maybe didn't get in, right? Or maybe got in at the all-time high that we saw at 62,000. Those people might be a little bit more worried about what could happen here. The people like myself and you who have been in this for a bit might be fine because they've already seen it proven out. But I mean, when you look at it, how do you see it going? If it does dip down further, I know you're going to be a buyer, but what do you see as kind of those catalysts that does take the price of Bitcoin higher now?
Well, again, I said this is the problem. It's called the Zimbabwe dollar or the US dollar. That's the real problem. So I just watched that sideshow with this guy, Powell, Yellen, what's his name, Biden, and those characters. And I just gauge off of them. Whatever they're doing, I'm not going to do. But I've been that way most of my life. Some people call me a contrarian. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a capitalist. I don't own any stocks. I don't like stocks, but I don't have to own stocks because I'm an entrepreneur. I build my own assets, like the Rich Dad Company is an international brand, and a brand is what Buffett invests in, like McDonald's or Gillette or Coca-Cola. So to the young people, I say, don't be an employee. Why don't you become an entrepreneur like Gates or Musk or those characters? And then you get really rich. But if you can just sit there and play the stock market, you may as well play Bitcoin too.
Well, I'd be curious to get your take too. I mean, I guess we've seen, obviously in personal finance, buying a house is always a big question. And I wonder what that would look like too, if you're expecting maybe the value of the dollar to go down or inflation to take off. Obviously, if you take out a mortgage and you take on big debt, it's easier to pay back if inflation does surge. So how are you giving advice maybe on that front when it comes to real estate and what you're seeing play out there?
Okay, so we can see that Robert Kiyosaki, he also say that he's more like in contrarian investors going against the Fed policies and keep promoting Bitcoin as a good play compared to stock market. And then the Yahoo correspondent obviously seemed not quite happy about this, and he obviously disagree on that, and he asked like Kiyosaki to take care too. So anyway, let's see what advice the rich dad have further for us before the next stock market crash. He also have some comments on inflation, mortgage, and real estate here.
Well, it's not real estate, it's debt. You see, I mean, this guy, what's his name? I forgot his name now. Good friend of mine, but I'm having the Biden effect. He says live debt free. Are you crazy? In 1971, the US dollar became debt. So every time I have a chance to buy real estate, I borrow as much money as I can. So I think I'm about 1.2 billion in debt because debt became money in 1971. But what these other goofballs are saying is that get out of debt, live debt free. Well, that's a choice you make. So I just don't do that. I own a lot of real estate. And every month I make millions of dollars a month in cash flow and I pay no taxes because the tax system incentivizes people who use debt. So everything they teach you in business school is a bunch of BS. I mean, the real guys like Trump, I know Trump's not popular, but he's a good friend of mine, and we're in debt up to our eyeballs and we pay no taxes. So that's what we teach, and it's different than everybody else. I'm not saying having a stock portfolio is right or wrong, but there's other alternatives you can do. Just open your eyes and see how the rich are really getting richer.
Okay, so we can see that Kiyosaki also denounced the pursuit of living a debt-free lifestyle. He said all the like professor teaching in the school are just like BS, right? According to him, borrowing money, investing in assets such as real estate allow for a generation for cash flow while also creating a tax shield. That's true, but it also depends on if you are skillful or experienced enough. If you have enough knowledge and skill and profession to do this, right? Kiyosaki said that he carries a lot of debt and owns a lot of real estate for this reason. And he's not saying having a stock portfolio is right or wrong, but there is other alternative you can do if you just open your eyes and see how the rich are really getting richer. So that's the thing. I mean, I think like every one of us like trade or invest in stocks or looking to become richer or wealthier, right? We don't do that for fun. But a lot of times like we also have to study a little bit like how those rich or wealthy people manage their assets, like what's the percentage of allocation they have in stocks and the way they trade stock. They're not gonna put like a 99 or 100% of their capital into meme stocks or something, right? So yeah, let's keep watching towards the end.
Yeah, especially if you believe in kind of the inflation picture that you see coming here, or the big market crash coming as you see it here. But there is one point that I guess maybe people have been looking at too, and the idea of a central bank digital currency potentially coming out and what that might mean for cryptocurrencies out there. It, of course, wouldn't necessarily solve the problem of governments and the way that they interact with their own currencies there. So how do you see maybe a bad digital dollar coming out? Chinese obviously working on their own central bank digital currency right now. How do you see that impacting the crypto market?
Well, I think that's the most important question you could ask today. Everybody should be asking. It's just not if, it's just when does the yuan become crypto, when the dollar become crypto, or the Fed coin? And then what will that do to the banking system? I hear all kinds of wild predictions. I'm not saying they're right or wrong, but I just keep an open mind. The same with Bitcoin. When it was 20,000 and FOMO, everybody was afraid of missing out. I just waited till it crashed. So as soon as the Fed coin comes out, I'm going to wait for the next crash. And the next crash may be all those banks that you guys are advertising as handing out dividend checks right now. One prediction I hear is that when the Fed coin comes out, you don't need Wells Fargo, you don't need Bank of America, you don't need Goldman Sachs anymore, because we'll be completely communist. We'll be 100% central banking, central planned economy. So that's what I'm watching right now. And I don't know which way it's going to go, but I think we'd all better pay attention to what happens when the Fed coin comes out.
Okay, so it's very interesting and important to discuss here by Kiyosaki regarding if crypto will replace US dollar and Chinese yen and some of the other fiat in the future. Kiyosaki stated that he believes it is not a question of if, but when the Chinese yuan or US dollar will become totally substituted by cryptocurrency. probably the like fat coin, right? Though he considered that there are many predictions surrounding the adoptions of such a currency for widespread use, he's keeping an open mind. And let's see what he said towards the end.
Yeah, we've seen, just to wrap up here, I mean, we've seen some bold calls before, world's largest crash in history. I'm going to classify that as pretty bold. But if you can hone in on maybe what it looks like, the timeline of it, how quickly you're expecting something like that to happen, if you are expecting runaway inflation or the crash, I mean, how big are we talking to be the world's biggest, and how quickly?
Well, that's another speculation. Is it inflation or deflation? I think it's deflation because you just can't keep printing money when it crashes. But I'm prepared to go either way. The thing I say to young people, because Yahoo is for young people, I would say be an entrepreneur, be a capitalist, and build a business that does well in crashes, booms, or busts. So, like Rich Dad does extremely well in booms, but it does very well in busts. That's what Nassim Taleb calls anti-fragile. The more it crashes, the stronger the company gets. So if I could encourage young people, don't go to school, become an employee, follow my Rich Dad's advice and become an entrepreneur, a capitalist, and build businesses that create jobs. I mean, this Biden and Kamala, I mean, what the hell are they doing paying people not to work? The only way money is created is via production, and we're paying people billions not to work. Oh my God, that's communism.
Yeah, I mean, we had seen that earlier in the pandemic when a lot of people weren't able to go to work due to the health concerns that they had. We've seen those being lifted now, but it is interesting to see it all play out. And obviously, if what you predict might play out, it would be terrible for a lot of people caught on the other side. But important reminders to talk about here when we're looking at crypto. Appreciate you coming on here, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Once again, thanks for the time.
All right, guys. So in the end, like as for like Kiyosaki's advice on how people, especially for like young investors, that's really they really need to have to like take the chance to prepare for the impending financial or stock market crash. Okay, coming up. As mentioned in my previous short video too, every single market crash or correction is eventually wiped out by a bull market rally afterward. And it means every major dip in history has been proven to be a buying opportunity. Okay, so that's how a lot of like rich people getting rich in this set of faster like a pace like during every like a downturn in the market crash. As long as you are well prepared beforehand and stay focused in the long term with wise trading investment strategies, crashes or like annual sales events for you to pick the chip and buy the dip. Okay, so we're gonna take a look into Bitcoin historical chart a bit here. Just like I mentioned in the short video on so yeah, we can see that this is the recent chart, but like probably like 2 years ago it just like happened again when you just like surge to almost like 20,000 and pull back all the way to about like 4,000. That's the like a technical pullback pattern we just like mentioned. And so it's not, let's see here. In my past short video and live stream, we have like researched through tons of data, information, and professional comments to stay neutral towards bearish for Bitcoin in the short run due to China crackdown on the mining and the technical pullback pattern between the past Bitcoin halving in 2020 and the next Bitcoin halving in 2024. But almost everyone, including Elon Musk and all the brilliant big investors, have been feeling totally positive and optimistic for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies futures, confirming the unavoidable trends out there. So in the next 1 to 2 years, Bitcoin may have the chance to slip all the way down to 20 or 24,000 or even lower. But it's definitely good opportunity for us to buy the dips along the way. So don't go crazy to give an all-in shot to Bitcoin or any assets all at once at any time, okay? This is like just proven 99.99% or even more. The chance is a wrong bet, but just to go bankrupt or go broke, okay? So, but I mean, in the mid to long run, Bitcoin is surely to run up to 100,000. It's like, you know, above like 65, 17,000, probably before 2025 or 2024. Okay, so if you have a money, if you have an investment you want to do for the next like 2 to 3 years, and it will be reasonable to have like a 5 or 10 or even more percentage of that into Bitcoin step by step along the way. Okay. So please, it's really a time to stay calm and sensible, to think deeply regarding your portfolio management and risk management. It's really a time to turn more conservative and defensive to protect yourselves from big bad losses in any potential market crash, okay? Besides, as many retail investors have been going crazy and frenzy for meme stocks so far this year, let's take a look at what meme stock, like meme stock, we have like meme stock. In the previous, in the past, like a short video and live stream, we also talk a lot about meme stocks. And anyway, it's not hard at all to identify many. There are many scams, collusion, and manipulation behind meme stock, behind the scene. Let alone the market crash. It's very easy to lose 50 to 90% or more of your trading investment overnight in most of the meme stock, right? As you can see, all right, the time is limited. We cannot talk too much in detail for meme stock. While the overall market is in an obvious bullish uptrend, the chance is that you will have some wins with some losses to stay alive for some reason as a gambler in meme stock market. However, in any potential market crash, these meme stocks without any fundamentals backing are surely to be the worst bet that can easily make you go broke or bankrupt overnight. While cryptocurrencies and some commodities like gold and silvers shall be a relatively safer assets for hedging and risk control. Okay, so that's the things we just mentioned and discussed in the video of like Kiyosaki. Okay, so for me, just like personal 2 cents, I'm adding more allocation into cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and some of the related cryptocurrency like a Dogecoin, Ethereum in the past like a couple months, along the recent pullback, and I will definitely keep adding if further pullback lasts. Okay, obviously the long-term trend is going to be positive here for buying the dips along the way, right? In in the contrary, for many main stocks which can never be explained or supported with clear reasons and the causes, the chance is huge to buy the dead bottoms in the hell. Okay, it's also interesting to be noticed that Reddit, the trading group, Wall Street Bet in Reddit, just went private, where so where will all the retail traders are gonna go? Okay, so I also put the link, the news link, down below in the description box. So please check it out when you have time. Okay, so okay, the time is limited, so let's have a quick review about the 10. Let's have a quick review about the 10 things to do before the next big historical market crash happens. As mentioned, I also have a short video last month please spend 10 minutes, okay? 10 minutes checking into that, as it would be really important and helpful for many beginner traders and investors during current market moves. I post the links down below in the description box, so please check into that. Just spend 10 minutes. That will be important and helpful for you, okay? I'm not making any money for any donation or anything. This is just like personal sharing. So here are the 10 things to do in your checklist for the next stock market crash. First, take a deep breath. This happens all the time, as shown and proven in historical data. Second, clearly understand your risk tolerance based on your financial strength. Third, regularly reassess your holding for sensible and wise rebalancing. Fourth, ignore emotional driven white noise. They are the temporary up and down. Fifth, holding cash and waiting to buy good dips for the discounts. And sixth, avoid margin trading like the plague, because it's way too risky to do for now. And seventh, Nibble to buy frequently. We're not gonna go do all in. Plan to buy step by step. And eighth, add to your winner rather than the loser. Winner is like proven statistically and historically. I mean, they're just gonna outperform, like, no matter for the short run or long run. Okay. And ninth, dividend stocks are the winners for some like a conservative strategy. And 10th, last but not least, find the right value assets like a cryptocurrency, real estate, etc. Okay? So, all right. I hope this is interesting and going to be helpful for your trading and investment. And I mean, if you don't mind to strike the like and subscribe button, please do right now. And leave any of your thoughts and comment, and we can discuss further. So, besides that, I will see you in the next one. See you.